Hello and welcome to the Grey Campus PMP course based on the PMBOK Guide 6th edition. My name is Jim Owens. I have been PMP certified for about 20 years and I am a Prince2 practitioner. I've been a project manager and a trainer for over 30 years and I am a certified professional and a fellow of the Australian Computer Society. As well as working as a project manager and delivering training in a number of different subjects, I have been developing and delivering PMP courses for about 18 years using the PMBOK Guide 2nd, 3rd, 4th and 5th editions and now of course the 6th edition. I obtained my PMP certification using the 2nd edition of the PMBOK Guide, where there are only about 11,000 PMPs in the world. And in case you're curious to know why I keep saying the PMBOK Guide instead of just PMBOK, it's because PMI prefers people to say the PMBOK Guide. The name PMBOK comes from two acronyms, PIM, PM, which stands for Project Management, and BOK stands for Body of Knowledge. In fact, one of the common PMP and CAPM questions is, what does PMBOK stand for? If you were to select the option, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, you would have failed the question, because the correct answer is a guide to the project management body of knowledge. Because PMI says the body of knowledge in project management is huge and can never fit inside a single book any more than the body of knowledge of medicine can. In fact, much of the book resides in the minds of project managers and academics. When I create online courses, I have delivered most of the training in person in groups as large as 75 and as small as 3 or 4. And over many years this has allowed me to gain significant feedback to tailor my courses and significant insight into how project management is actually undertaken in 20 or more industries, including government and the military. And in this series of lessons, I will walk you through every area of the PMBOK Guide 6th edition and I will give you advice and examples from my own background where I can. I will also be covering the Code of Ethics and Professional Conduct that is included in the examination, but it's not actually part of the PMBOK. It's a separate document which you can download free of charge from PMI. And I will cover the differences between PMBOK Guide 5th edition and the PMBOK Guide 6th edition, and believe me, there are many. You must have a copy of the PMBOK Guide 6th edition because you will need to study it in conjunction with this course. It is highly recommended that before you watch a video, you read the corresponding chapter in the PMBOK Guide. If you have a copy of an earlier edition of the PMBOK Guide, please do not use it. It will confuse you, I can guarantee it. It must be the PMBOK Guide 6th edition because of the many changes between the two. And please do not use any study materials unless they were specifically designed for PMBOK Guide 6th edition. If you use the wrong versions of the study materials and you lose 4 or 5 questions in the exam, that is enough to fail. Believe me, it is a very false economy. Get up-to-date training materials. Right now you probably have many questions and I'm sure that one of your biggest questions must be, have I chosen the right course provider? And that's a very sensible question to ask because a course on such a large and complicated topic as PMP demands a considerable commitment from you and you need to be sure it is worth it and that you've been taught in the correct way. And so I can reassure you that Grey Campus is a good choice. You will find that many other providers on the market produce courses that are largely just people reading the PMBOK Guide with maybe an extra comment now and then. And to be honest, you're not going to benefit from that because you can do that yourself, right? But at Grey Campus, we believe in teaching people, not just talking to them. We believe in explaining what a sentence or a paragraph or a definition means, as well as what it says. Sometimes I will read the actual text from the PMBOK Guide where it is necessary for you to know it and to be able to recognize it for the PMP exam. For example, chapter introductions, definitions, inputs, tools and techniques, and outputs, or where the meaning is already perfectly clear. but I will normally accompany that with explanations, clarifications, definitions and examples of my own. We believe at Grey Campus in going back to first principles, because if you do not have a firm grasp of the basics, then you will struggle and lack confidence with harder topics, and you will find that the exam thoroughly tests you on the basics. And so even if you're an experienced project manager, you must remember that in all of the courses that I run, people have to be experienced project managers just to take the examination. And in my classes, the project managers always agree they have learned a lot of information by going back to basics. For example, if I were to ask you the difference between the code of accounts and the chart of accounts, would you be able to tell me the difference? And if you did answer, how confident are you that the answer is correct? Or if I were to ask you the difference between a project schedule and a project plan, the difference is huge. Or the difference between project documents and project business documents. And if you know the difference, can you tell me which ones the project manager is not allowed to update? Still feeling confident? And something else we strongly believe in at Grey Campus is that a lecturer must already be what they are teaching. Think about it. What sort of lecturer would you rather put your confidence in? A, somebody has just read a book about project management and they can only imagine what managing a real project must be like? Or B, someone who has actually been a project manager in real industries in different countries, dealing with real project problems day by day and successfully completing projects, and has passed a PMP exam a long time ago and been recertified many times? I know which one I would choose. I can teach you with confidence because I am an experienced international project manager, as well as an experienced trainer and course developer. I'm PMP certified and a Prince II practitioner certified too. And I believe that my experience plus Grey Campus can give you the edge on your studies. Okay, so now you know the value of attending a Grey Campus course. You need to be sure that this course is what you really want to study. So who is this course intended for? Well, the course is intended to give a significant value to a wide range of people. For example, people who are interested in project management and they want to discover a better way to manage projects. It's also meant for people who work in a project team and aspire to becoming a project manager one day and are studying for the CAPM exam and they want to see the big picture, what's outside the PMBOK guide. Or people who are project managers but they've discovered they can't get promotion or they're not given the big important projects to manage, and so they realize that they need a PMP certification to advance their career, because PMP certification is the widest recognized certification, the highest valued in the entire world. The course is also suitable for project managers who are Prince II practitioner certified, such as me, and they're looking for an excellent in-depth project management source book that fits well with the Prince II methodology. However, whilst all of the above reasons are perfectly valid, I believe the vast majority of you are hoping to get your first PMP certification. And so for all of these people and more, you have made an excellent choice in selecting this Grey Campus Intensive PMP course. We're going to kick off with lesson 1.0, Foundational Elements. As I said before, if you have been managing projects for a while and perhaps you're familiar with the PMBOK guide or managing successful projects with Prince II, then you may feel that you can skip this section. But I would strongly encourage you to work through this. Why? Think of the foundation of an office building. The building is only as good as its foundation. Without that firm foundation, the building is not going to last. The next section is the foundation upon which the whole PMBOK guide stands. I've been running PMP classes for almost 18 years. These classes are for experienced project managers, and yet time after time I find that many do not understand all of the basics. This can cost you the examination. Nobody can afford to lose a few questions, and nobody should lose a few questions, because it's foundational material, the stuff you should know inside out. I can guarantee that as you work through this section, you will discover things that you didn't know, and you'll also discover things that you thought you knew but were wrong. If there is something that you don't understand, it can have a cascading effect, causing you to misunderstand other areas as well. Anything that you don't understand or misunderstand means at least one failed examination question, at least one. I will give you one simple example. In almost every company, organisation or government department that I've worked for, when I've asked to see the project plan, they've shown me a project schedule. A project schedule is not a project plan, it is a tiny part of it. What would you have shown me if I'd asked to see your project plan? Let's get back to the basics. LCU had 1.0 foundational elements, but please read the corresponding section of the PMBOK Guide 6th edition before watching the video.